she actually rodeo style bucked me off from a complete standstill without any warning. I'm talking unpredictable, like from bolts from a walk and buck from a standstill.
This is Sierra on day one. Before we ever worry about bucking or bolting under saddle, we need to understand where the resistance actually starts. Any resistance you feel in the saddle will always show up on the ground first. The ground is the safest place to find it and the safest place to remove it. When I start the training on a horse, whether it's a problem horse or one that's never been touched before, the process is always the same. At Liberty, I'm not just looking for resistance, I'm teaching the horse the rules and the structure of how I communicate. First, the horse has to learn that I can move his feet from a sensitive command. Second, he has to learn how to wait patiently when he becomes sensitive and starts anticipating the go. And third, he has to learn how to stand still under pressure if I'm not asking him to move. These are tools I build at Liberty that become the foundation for everything else.
Okay, so for this first lesson, when I slowly add this pressure towards her, it's coming on so slow that no horse would move from it. But right at the end of 4 seconds, then I'm going to start my taps. And then once I start the taps, they're going to be very light too, but I'm going to keep building those taps up and growing exponentially until she gives me a bit of a scoot. Because I want the first scoot to be low, the next one to be medium, and the third one to be high.
Okay.
So that each time I scoot her, I'm releasing exactly for that scoot, and I'm getting a bigger scoot. That's going to make her more sensitive, so she's going to move early. And when she moves early, I'm going to release for just one step.
Okay.
And that's what wraps this all up in a choice. Because of her instinct to conserve energy, she's going to realize if she moves early, she only has to do one step. Long as she responds early to the command. It's important to start from the same distance so the command is consistent. Here's my start, my prep. Now I'm going to start building. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. And then right when my belly button reaches her tail is when I start my taps. And I'm going to keep building the taps this time, and I'm going to stretch out there longer and keep building those taps out there till I get that medium scoot. The taps are not punishment. They simply motivate the movement when the horse ignores the subtle command. (1001), 1002, 1003, 1004. So then you can see she doesn't listen to any of those, any of the commands when it's a push command, because that's what the command is me lifting my hand towards her. And it's so subtle that no horse in the world would follow it until they're taught to. But I just keep building these taps up till I can get a bigger scoot. And that's all she's reading is right after the scoot, I release. So she knows that the scoot is what I'm after. Here's the prep. It's already looking like she's going to move. Here's the push, 1001, 1002, 1003. So
good.
she was right in that time frame. Okay, so this first thing is just going to be ask her to put her head down. Yeah, she knows that pretty good. So I'm going to take it. Oh, right there was resistance. So I'm going to make that the reason I start backing her up and just tap her lightly. So she has 4 seconds from my hand putting down pressure on her as well. So so I found something right there, this whip here thing, right? I'm going to still work on head down. I'm still working on head down, but I'm going to teach her to handle a little fear of this whip. So it's important that I keep doing this whip until she don't move 1 foot, right, for 4 seconds. Now I'm going to go back to doing head down. I got to turn it into a backup right there because she took too long, or she just, like when they get to the point where they don't move, they just kind of lock up on my hand.
Yep.
I don't pull hard. I just keep that pressure slowly escalating, and at 4 seconds, I change the angle. So I'm turning it into a backup strategically right at 4 seconds. When I 1001, 1002. Every time I get to a hard spot, I just start counting, but I don't try to force that head down. It's got to be soft and give her a choice. And she makes that choice because she learns that I'm either going to back her up. I'm going to back her up until she does, right? So I'm using that as a motivator. So moving her feet to motivate her to be soft is going to be a key lesson, right? That's a key lesson to get her soft under saddle when I'm riding her. So it's a lesson of motivation, right? I'm teaching her how I'm going to use motivation. So every time I ask a horse to do something,
Yeah.
it's a very little workload involved.
Yeah.
If she does it with no resistance. But if I can search and find resistance, I can ramp up that workload to exponential, like to no end.
So she has a fair bit of resistance about.
She has a lot of resistance about that neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the neck is like the steering wheel, right?
Yeah. Well, like
and the brakes.
I said when she bolted, I reached my hand up right to the bridle.
Yeah.
And could not get her head to turn.
Yeah.
She was completely blocked in that neck.
We're almost there. There we go. There we go. No, get down. Get down. There we go. That restart. So there's the chew. There's the genuine give for 4 seconds.
Yeah.
So she's got to stay down for 4 seconds after I stand up.
Yeah.
Then I just walk away, and that's usually when they ground tie.
Join us in part 2, where we uncover more of the resistance behind the bucking and bolting. I'll show you how we safely work through that resistance from the ground using clear communication patterns that you can safely apply to your own horse. If this was helpful, make sure you grab the free leadership guide below. In there, you'll find the 7 most common ways that horses challenge your leadership.